Hey, welcome to the Around the Lens bonus show for episode 23. If you are a Patreon and you paid for your right to see this show ahead of time, I really appreciate your support. We all do. If you're watching this on YouTube, then all I ask is that you tell a friend. Let somebody else know about this show who might be interested. All right, so our bonus topic this week is kind of also about gear. We always talk on this show like everybody is a photographer because they all, have a phone. Everybody has a phone, and they're, by virtue of having that capability, they can shoot video and they can shoot photos. But there's actually a guy who's on Kickstarter right now, Brandon Ho. I hope I'm saying his name right. He has this thing called the Helium Core, and it's pretty neat actually. I saw the video on Kickstarter. Thought almost about maybe investing in it, and then I was like, well, I don't own an iPhone, so I really wouldn't get any use out of this. But the concept's pretty neat. So, if you can watch the video and it'll kind of talk more about it than I can, or better about it. But essentially, he created this sort of frame around the iPhone that allows you to attach, things that you would normally attach to like the base of a cell, a DSLR or something onto your phone. And first I was kind of going like, whatever, this is garbage. But then I looked at it and I was like, he's got kind of an idea there. So I kind of want to throw out to our panelists, kind of what do you think about this? Is this, something that sort of intrigues you as something that maybe you would use, or are you like, maybe not to replace your DSLR, but maybe something that could easily sort of, fit in a smaller bag as sort of a backup thing? Because, you look at the iPhones, especially like the 6S, 6S Plus, and probably the 7, it's got great lenses, great cameras on there, and they shoot 4K and like high resolution stills. So does this device intrigue anyone on the panel?
I just
Thomas, you shoot a lot of at least what I saw, I've seen some homeless stuff in there. It seems like your stuff is more kind of like running a gun in the in the sort of the darker side of the area. Is that something maybe you'd be interested in investing in?
No, man, I'm sorry. I'm just looking through these pictures down at down at the site, and like there's a picture of a blonde with her iPhone. It looks like she's watching like a small iPad or something with the like. It looks so silly, and the filmmaking picture, it's like, what? Why are you gonna take a huge ass tripod and then your little fucking iPhone? No, man, that's not gonna get me stoked in any way. I wish that guy the best of luck because, well, it suits a lot of people, but I'm never gonna be a periscope thing. I'm always gonna be like smaller is better, and that shit is just like it seems like more of an April's joke to me.
It also seems like, so the whole point of if you're a documentary filmmaker and you're using cell phones and trying to kind of work, if like say you're in Cambodia in some war zone, or trying to stay on low key, or in North Korea trying to interview people, but I got this whole rig around my fucking phone.
Or the micro dolly. You got the micro dolly.
Yeah. It's just like you spend all this money on this gear and make it so much bigger, and it's still got this itty-bitty tiny little sensor that you blow up anything larger than, I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys get the same ads like they have in New York City, where they have these shot on an iPhone 6, and it's this gorgeous landscape that clearly has been edited, clearly is done by a professional freaking photographer who could make that same image with a $25 toy camera, and I just don't get it. So this is just basically adding this whole rack and rig, like the Zucato or whatever it is, rigs, $2,000. It's making it a little bit cheaper. And I'm sure that once it gets off a Kickstarter, the price is almost always double or triple or quadruple, because now Adorama needs to make money off of it too. And I'm sure they'll sell, but it's just like you look at these things and it just makes me want to freaking cry, because people are working. I get it. It's a nice LCD. I get the nicety of being able to shoot with this big LCD screen and stuff like that, and I wish that my cameras had a bigger LCD screen for when I was shooting video. But I don't know. I could literally the same rant you made, Thomas. I have no idea. It's not for me. It's not for me. So
let me just add one thing. It says I can't wait to get one so that I can broadcast live on Periscope using my iPhone mounted on a drone. When is that ever gonna happen?
Well, now it can happen thanks to this. Mark, how about you? Is this something that might be interesting to you? You know, you roll up to a protest with your iPhone. Maybe you don't. Maybe you look less intimidating to the protesters, and they don't think you have a weapon like Melissa Click did.
Oh my
God!
God!
That intrigue you at all?
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait until this is on the market because I never back anything on Kickstarter because I know it's never going to see the light of day. But I do think this is something I would use if it were actually if it were.
Because you Periscope, right?
I used to last time I was on the show I was using Periscope, but I think now I'm going to use Facebook Live. I think Periscope is dead in the water. It's there's more Facebook users is the thing, and that since Facebook Live launched 2-3 weeks ago, it's to the masses. It's really taken off, and I think any journalist who's not using it yet is missing out. That includes myself. It's just too much of it. YouTube, their live thing is just so ridiculous. You need a codec and a laptop that runs Windows, and it doesn't work half the time. And I've been doing running things off my 1080p webcam, and that's been nice. But I think in the future I'm just going to be recording with my phone, maybe attached to a tripod of some sort. But I can see this very easily being my B camera for when I want to shoot stills, but also be filming. Because often when I'm out here, I'm just a one-man job. I don't have an assistant taking photos and watching my back. So I think that not having to dismount my camera from my shoulder rig every time I want to take photos is going to really be a nice thing. And the other thing is I've got this nice Rode microphone I just bought, and I would like to use that in more of my videography. Thing is, though, it's that plus the 4-pound DSLR I lug around in. I don't drive a car. I'm a bike kind of person. So every time I go somewhere, I've got to bring all that with me plus a tripod, and it's just the most ridiculous thing seeing me around town with all that gear. And if that's something I can, I don't like. I could see myself just bringing the the helium, what's it called, the core, with me to class, and maybe like a handheld stabilizer and a Rode mic, and that's already cut down on the stuff I have to carry by I'm doing like a quarter of the weight I would have had before, and it's just, for me, it's not practical. Concerned Student doesn't advertise on Twitter before they go out and do something, a protest, until about an hour before they actually do so, because they've caught on to the fact that I follow their Twitter closely, and other journalists do as well. So if whatever I've got on at the time is what I'm filming with, so that's where I'm at with that. That's a very specific use case. I think that could be applied to just about anyone who 1 billion Facebook users who are going to be using Facebook Live in the next couple of years. And I think a lot of phone accessory makers have been barking up the wrong tree. There's the Photo Dojo, the lens kit, and that was kind of marketed as a Instagram type of fun accessory to get a cheap fisheye lens. But I think really the untapped market is in video for professionals, for marketers. I think easily you could see at least a lot of Facebook users I think would use it.
Yeah, I mean, what you say is interesting about the Kickstarter projects. I mean, yeah, you have to take obviously any Kickstarter project with a grain of salt. It may or may not come to fruition, but I've been pretty lucky, at least so far. The ones I've backed have. This is actually one that I got a couple weeks ago. It's called the RoloCam, and it's pretty neat. You put like your camera on top of here, and it's got these wheels and stuff like that, and this thing rotates, so like you can create a panning shot and whatnot. You can do time lapse with it. It's pretty neat. I haven't really got a chance to play with it too much, but it's it's a Kickstarter project, and I'm actually supposed to be getting another one, the Gyroptic 360 that is supposed to be coming to me hopefully soon. It has already started to ship out. It took about 2 years, but soon I should be able to create 360 videos, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've been kind of
cool. The 360 thing, that's really cool. I had a friend who just went to Chernobyl in Ukraine, doing a 360 video of all the area. It was really, because it's so interactive. You can yourself go in and read about stuff. You can walk around. It's like semi-virtual reality.
Mm-hmm.
I really think.
Do you know what he shot with, by chance?
Oh, it was just like a Ricoh or Panasonic small camera, actually.
Okay, Ricoh Theta S, probably something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they got a bunch of them coming out now. Samsung's coming out with their own 360 cam. Then Nikon has one, and Facebook, GoPro, they're all doing one. So, but I mean, we always talk about the best camera you have on you is like your phone usually, because it's the one you have on you. So I mean.
But that's
I don't know if you have some extra accessories.
You got it on it, but you wouldn't walk around in daylight when things happen that you would post on Facebook Live like a demonstration, and you go like, "Oh right, I can't do this because I don't have my 5 gear mounts with me." You got your hands, and as long as you got your hands, people would be willing to sacrifice comfort and non-shaky pictures for the event. For the substance of your story. I mean, from my perspective, I'd rather see a shaky video from the middle of a demonstration, because that would feel more authentic than a dolly mounted or tripod mounted camera that's just static or more or less fake, or I don't really know how to phrase it. But for me, the thing that works about cell phones and the live kind of feel, the is the authenticity. It just feels natural to be part of something. And I think if you take a tripod or a mount, you would take the authenticity out of the equation, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you look at the video that he does for the demonstration, I don't think necessarily he's carrying like a tripod with him everywhere. He's just carrying around like the case that he puts the phone in. He's carrying around the like little handheld grip, maybe an extra light or something, an extra microphone. So all he's doing is trying to emphasize the fact that you can have this whole gear setup, thing in your little like messenger bag. You're not having to carry around like a whole camera bag all the time with you, or carry your camera and maybe a couple lenses like around your neck. You can just kind of have a few tools that will make your video or your photos from your cell phone just a little bit higher production value. I understand what you're talking about with the organic sort of nature of like the shakiness of a cell phone, but I think this just gives sort of that bridges the gap between like the complete rawness of a person on the scene who just happens to have their camera with them or their phone with them and they capture it while it's happening, and also sort of the more professional, I would say, tailored, geared, and sort of ready to go, person that would show up on the scene later. So I think it's sort of as kind of that happy medium, maybe. I don't know, Zach. What do you think of this? Would you ever use it like in a protest or anything?
I mean, the biggest problem I have is not necessarily with this helium thing. It's where the industry is moving, and it's moving towards everything has to be live with no processing, no whatever. The reason that you hire journalists and the reason that we are professionals is that we are able to process information and give you content. If it's just everything is live streamed, all you're getting is basically the news version of helicopter car chases. And if that's where the media wants to go, that's disastrous. I mean, you can watch MSNBC at any given moment where all they do is freaking run Donald Trump's protests live and no commentary, no anything. And if that's, to me, that's where this thing is going. What I do see it as is and this is something I've been begging for cell phone tech to move, is a cell phone, and like I'm kind of with you, Thomas, about you're talking about how everything has to have Bluetooth and wireless and the cameras too. If they're gonna do that though, I want it to work. And the big thing I want, because I use my camera for like tripod documentary film as well now. I used to have like a full video camera, but I just use the DSLRs now. But the big problem is the tiny screen, and the only options are ridiculously expensive and over-the-top LCDs that you have to attach and have HDMI and everything like that. If I just had some damn way that I could sync my already massive phone to my camera and have an LCD, that would be useful also for like work that you do, Mark, and also you see like Tim Pool used to do this. I don't know what his operation is now. If you know Tim Pool, he's Occupy Wall Street. He works for Fusion now, but he used to carry around. He would have a shoulder mount rig, like a one-handle thing. He would have his DSLR, and then he would have attached to that on the rig. He would also have his cell phone live streaming at the same time. So he would be filming relatively high quality footage at least, and live streaming at the same time and doing running commentary. He actually had a journalistic sensibility. He's one of the few live streamers that actually went into Occupy Wall Street and went into protest with that kind of, I'm going to tell you what's happening, and I'm going to tell you, give you a bit of context of why that cop just arrested that kid or whatever. It wasn't just, outrage or whatever, like a lot of live streamers are. But what I would like is to be able to have some sort of, I have a $2,000 DSLR attached with a $900 35mm 1.4 lens on it. How can I get that footage to this device so that it goes to the internet? That's where I could see having a rig set up that has this sort of thing attached to it. If I could somehow just have this freaking thing and being able to watch it and have it a useful thing. To me, this as a camera is the last resort. The line that everybody, like, I forget who said it at this point, the best camera that you have is the one with you. Well, then you should goddamn have your DSLR with you, because that's the best camera that you have. And I know it's heavy, believe me, and whatever, but like, get a small lens, get a usable lens on it, and just, if you're a photographer, then, for someone like me who's, my outlets have absolutely no use for cell phone photos. My wire would go, what the hell did you just send me? In the video, same deal. Like, for productions and stuff like that, cell phone cameras have very little use for me. Even the 4K, whatever, bullcrap, because the sensor's this freaking big. Like, you can keep expanding it. The cell phone's going to have 8K on it, and I don't give a damn, because the sensor is still going to be this big. When the iPhone 8 has a sensor that's at least a micro four thirds, then give me a call. Anyway, end rant.
So as Zach says, be a man up, and carry your whole camera kit with you at all times.
That's not what I said. I said at least carry a camera. I mean, like, I'm actually considering, one of the big reasons why I actually am considering moving to Sony, even though I said the thing about Nikon before, is the reason the Sony is because they're lighter. And the lenses aren't necessarily lighter, but I could get whatever the equivalent is of a, I don't know if I want to carry around a 24 to 70, round or whatever. Even the Sony one is kind of massive, but carry around even a fixed lens or something like that, to just have that as my thing that I carry all the freaking time. And back when I lived in New York City and I used to do a lot more spot news and would just kind of be wandering around the city or whatever, I would always carry at least one camera with me, and that was heavy. I'm completely with you on that. And that was annoying, and it made me not want to carry it, especially when I had it stolen from my bag at one point when I was at a bar. So, but if I had something, even one of the Fujis or something like that, that at least give me raw photos that, shoot it, I can get a 10 meg file out of it, process that, my wires want, then great. Then that's thing. But I just, I'm thinking about picking up something smaller so that I do always have something with me, and also I'm not risking my life, like my entire living by losing one of the cameras or having it stolen out of my car or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I have a car, so that's a little bit easier for me too.
A really good solution is just meet in the middle. I mean, the Panasonic GX8 is a really, really, really awesome camera, and it does full HD. I'm not really sure if it does 4K, but it really does a proper good job with the minimum amount of size and weight. And use your phone like as a last resort, but if you use your phone, use it properly. I mean, sound-wise and wise.
Sorry, guys, we had some weird technical difficulties there where we missed part of what you guys said. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Sony, Zach. I like I've said before, I'm a fan of the Panasonic because it is smaller and lighter. And I know that the Sony has a lot of smaller and lighter cameras too. So, yeah, maybe the solution is just to get a smaller and lighter DSLR.
Just have it in the backpack or something. Just
carry around your whole kit in a backpack.
I will say, and again, I preface, Mark, I think that for what the type of work that you do, I think that a rig like this would work for you. I think that it's all you really need to have to catch the breaking news. Because I mean, back when I lived in New York City, it's all about uploading and getting it up quicker. And if your focus is video, then something like an iPhone, whatever the hell, that shoots good video or whatever, and to be able to cover these protests, you can definitely get sales and you can get everything as long as you're connected. But for anything else.
Well, for my most recent assignment, I sent it to my editor, professionally edited. It took me about 4 hours to put together this 2-minute clip of an interview and this B-roll and of this protest that took place on campus, and they uploaded it in glorious 480p. So
I know.
They don't care about the video. All I care about is good audio, or at least so I've got the Video Mic Pro, I think, from Rode, and I'm just now becoming accustomed to it. The last 2 videos I shot were clipping way too much, which I've got to work out a solution to that. But is good audio, or at least uploaded fast enough that I can get home, type in the captions, and send it into file it to my editor right away. That's all I care about. I just found out there's probably an adapter I can just use to hook up to this phone, and just handhold the mic up, and then that way get really good audio.
Sennheiser just came out with a Bluetooth stand-up mic. It seems to be way overpriced, though. That's the only problem. But I just actually, a buddy of mine, he does a lot of Facebook Live videos. He just got a lapel mic as well that specifically, I don't know if there's any difference or whatever than a normal cheap one. But yeah, I mean, for the Facebook Live stuff, it's beginning a new thing where I'm going to have to break down. I've started doing them at Donald Trump rallies and stuff like that, and they're not getting anywhere near enough numbers to justify them, but it's a good way. It's like if you have the Blink app, an MPPA app that they have, it's a good way that that app allows editors to know where you are. the Facebook Live and the kind of like updates and stuff like that. It's the same reason why I tweet the moment I get somewhere, is that I know that I have editors that follow me, and I know that I have those producers. I mean, that's definitely a use that photographers can do for, you know, using their cell phone and having good audio and stuff like that. So I mean, I like taking outrageous stances because I hate where the industry is moving. I don't like fast-paced news. I don't think that 80% of the news that's on TV right now, and I don't think anyone in our industry loves it. I don't think there's a single person that's like, yeah, I love uploading raw video to my editor who's going to take it out of context and say something that I didn't say. Oh yeah, and I love walking around a room with my camera like this and acting like I'm a professional freaking journalist. You know, I mean, that's the worst thing. I watch these MSNBC hosts who have had like decades of, you know, have like 10 years of experience or whatever, and who are like professionals. These people get paid decently well, and they're going around a room with, you know, and going and doing a live broadcast that's being fed into Chris Matthews. And I just am like, and this is where, and everybody's just okay with this. No one's screaming about it, you know. And this is where we're going to go. And this is also how the professionalness of our news, like, you know what? My sister, 22 years old, she works for Forbes. She has very little experience in journalism. She can do the same thing I would do at a Trump rally, describing what I'm seeing. She can do that too. So why would they possibly hire me over an intern, you know, to do it? And that's why I get like really the cell phones, and, you know, I mean, even 10, 15 years ago it was digital, you know, me and a thing, and is that it's just an easier way that the higher ups, you know, General Electric or Comcast or whoever, go, oh, we can save 10 cents on that thing, you know, let's do it that way. So that's my curmudgeonly, you know, death of journalism rant, you know.
I still want to get your sister's website so I can buy all our prints.
No, she's not a photographer. She's a copy editor, basically. So
I'll buy her copies. All right, so that ends our bonus segment for this week. Again, I want to thank our panelists for sticking around.
Can I just add a thing?
Oh,
by all means.
I'm pretty sure Zach just concluded that the only reason to need your phone for photography is that you can tweet on it saying you're at this place with your camera.
Yeah.
There you go.
I wish there was an easy way to tag on Twitter, and like obviously you could put it in your bio or whatever, but I'd love to be able to tag a photo and be like, look if you want to buy a version of this photo that was shot not with a crappy cell phone, but with a Nikon D600 and $2,000 worth of gear, buy it here. You know, like if there was a way to click e-commerce attached to it, that would be amazing.
You make that happen, Zach.
Yeah.
You can.
They need to. Twitter needs to make an app that lets you tweet while you film on your camera phone.
Yeah.
I can't recommend though, anybody listening and for both of you guys, sign up for the Blink app. Go to NPPA's website or just look for it. It's a GPS app that basically only has photographers and photo editors on it. So photo editors will know where you are. I've gotten some contacts. I haven't gotten any sales or anything like that yet, but I've heard tons of stories about people being like, "Oh crap, you were at this event. I heard that some protester got whatever." I mean, like, not from that, but I mean, like, again, Twitter is so important for photojournalists. I tweeted out that I got video of a Donald Trump supporter punching a black kid in the face, and NBC emailed me 45 minutes later saying, we want to see the footage or whatever, and they bought it for $700 freaking.
Wow.
So, I mean, like, literally, it's all the money I've made covering the primaries in that one tweet. Like, thank God I tweeted that out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's quite an action-packed, full-featured bonus segment. We got a pick, we got a rant, we got a recommendation, we got all kinds of great stuff. So again, I want to thank you all. Thomas, you got to get some rest.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You got to get up early in the morning. You got to get up in a few hours, or you probably not even go back to bed. I don't know, but again, I want to say thanks again to Thomas and Mark and Zach for being part of the bonus segment. Again, thanks for supporting this show.